This is the world of the campus vets.
The piglets can't be exposed to any pathogens, so that's one of the better ways of doing it.
We just get to do a free radiograph on our rotation, so I brought him in just for fun. And we thought, was someone playing a practical joke on us?
Just by turning his head to get at a fly, he could knock you flat.
Western College of Veterinary Medicine, students in the teaching hospital learn a host of advanced techniques and new procedures. This pregnant sow is about to have a C-section. As she is put under anesthesia, a temporary home called an isolator is prepared for her piglets. The purpose? To keep the newborns free of disease. They'll be part of a research project by animal science students, studying the interaction between pigs and bacteria.
Then we reduce the need for antibiotics and also just maintaining a healthy animal, so that's the objective of it.
The plastic pig pen shields the babies from pathogens, viruses, or bacteria that carry disease, and could be passed from a sow to her piglets at birth. The C-section will provide more sterile conditions than natural birth. Surgical resident Dr. Ryan Shoemaker seldom has the chance to perform this specialized procedure.
Here at the college we see probably 8 times a year we do kind of batches of them. Some of them definitely are for having disease-free pigs for research, but a lot of the pig barns now, the piglets can't be exposed to any pathogens, so that's one of the better ways of doing it.
It's a rare opportunity for students like Tammy Orban to observe this procedure. But as the surgery is about to begin, Tammy is in for a big surprise.
Yeah, I think you can probably make your incision somewhere like that to that, okay?
When Dr. Shoemaker hands me the scalpel blade and I'm sitting there going, I'm cutting?
Tammy faces her first C-section on a pig.
We're cutting anesthesia.
Student Jennifer Klaus is in the middle of her radiology rotation, and she's brought her new pet iguana in for the day.
I named him Dante. I just thought it would fit for him, since he loves the heat. We just get to do a free radiograph on our rotation, so I brought him in just for fun.
Dante's x-rays are back, and Jennifer is in for a big surprise.
They get this thing called metabolic bone disease if they don't have enough vitamin D, so I wanted to make sure that everything looked okay, and those look great, but unfortunately, we found this little problem. So this was the first one we took, and we thought, was someone playing a practical joke on us?
Jennifer has no idea how Dante ingested the screw, or how long it's been there.
I was just blown away when I saw it. I thought, okay, so what we can tell here, it looks like it's in the stomach, so hopefully it should be an easy way to get it out.
If left untreated, the sharp screw could puncture Dante's internal organs. Students Josh Ramsey and Curtis Lutzy head to a local ranch to do a pregnancy check on a horse.
Today we are going to be ultrasounding a mare.
9-year-old Banner just gave birth to a foal 4 months ago. It's a long shot, but the owner is hoping she's pregnant again.
Let's just do a test run here.
Staff veterinarian Dr. Stephen Manning artificially inseminated Banner 2 weeks ago, but he's worried.
The semen looked quite bad when we received it. It was almost all dead.
We'll just put a couple of bales behind her for Josh's sake.
We are standing behind a horse, and that is extremely dangerous. A horse's kick can easily kill us. Large animals are simply too big for an ultrasound machine to be able to reach and image the uterus through the belly wall. So the ultrasound probe itself is taken manually into the rectum of the animal.
Once the probe is in place, Josh looks for an embryo.
It's like a little black circle. So what you're looking to show up, and that's pregnancy.
A minute into the search, Josh thinks he's found something. Vet student Tammy Orban has performed a C-section on a cow before, but never on a pig.
Just get through that layer, Tammy. Keep going.
It was a little nerve-wracking simply because that's the thing about vet med. Every species is different.
For Tammy, there's the added pressure of getting the newborns to the isolator quickly, before they're contaminated.
Okay, so go in. You're going to obviously feel pigs, so grab a pig and bring it up to the incision. Yeah, they're slippery. Just try and manipulate them up, nice and gentle.
It looks, quite easy, but when you're in there and you can't grab onto this, little piglet because it's slippery and it just keeps falling back in.
Okay, so the uterus. So there's an ovary. See it?
Okay, yeah.
So we're going to follow this down. We want to bring everything else out from here. So you can go down. And sometimes you have to go down and actually grab the little pigs because they'll just slide around the horns. So you just grab the pig and we're going to lay him out.
The uterus just keeps coming and coming and coming with more and more piglets.
Give you the scalpel blade. Don't hit no pig.
Once the vet team frees the piglets from the uterus, it's imperative they get the newborns into the isolator immediately. Jennifer Klaus's iguana Dante has a screw lodged in his abdomen. He's given anesthesia before the team begins the next step.
We're going to try today to do endoscopy, which is where we take a fiber optic scope and go down and have a look at his stomach and then see if we can actually grab the screw out with some forceps through the endoscopy machine.
Oh, cool. Look at that.
Dante's case is so unusual, it's attracted the attention of many other students.
The biggest fear, I guess, was I'm worried about the anesthetic, and there's the higher incidence of complications with exotic species. We don't know as much about them.
Dr. Boudelier and Dr. Carr conduct the endoscopic procedure.
I would guess that it's probably past the stomach. Make sure it isn't stuck in there earlier somewhere, but I don't think it is. I think it's moving through.
We've already looked at
We've been there, yeah, it's not in there, so.
They have no luck with a first attempt and try a smaller scope, hoping it will allow them to look further down the intestines.
Well, we've went down quite a long way, and we still haven't found anything that looks like it, so wherever it is, I don't think we're going to be able to reach it. So chances are it's moving through the intestines somewhere.
Even though the screw is not posing any problems for Dante now, it could move and puncture an internal organ in the future. Surgery is their only option. Coming up, Jennifer operates on her own pet iguana. Vet student Josh Ramsey is conducting an ultrasound to determine if a horse is pregnant.
There we go. Pregnancy.
Yeah,
Is this the black spot?
Banner is pregnant, but moments later, Josh gets a shock.
Well, look,
And there's another one right beside each
two
other.
babies. So she has twins.
The good news is that she's pregnant, and the not so good news is that there are 2 pregnancies there.
Pregnancy created with the lackluster sperm is a pleasant surprise, but twins could be deadly to both mother and offspring.
You end up with a disaster on your hands a lot of the time. But why can't mares have twins?
It takes up more of the room in the uterus.
Right.
So at this stage, you might try to terminate one of them, and so that you can have a better chance of getting a foal.
The odds of giving birth to live twins are 1 in 10,000. In most of those cases, one or both babies die. But if one pregnancy is terminated, the other has an 80% chance of survival.
It's fairly technically simple, but it is, the destruction of one of the pregnancies in the hopes of having the other one survive. So we need to get permission from the owner.
With both eggs growing rapidly, they must act quickly.
So what are our options?
It's best to try to terminate them before they stop moving from the uterus. And
Which
if you can,
happens when?
I think for some reason I'm thinking day 18.
That's right, 17 or 18. So our best option for success by far is to do it now.
Tammy Orban is in the middle of a C-section designed to keep newborn piglets disease-free.
Doesn't matter. Grab my back legs. Just cut it off. This side of the clamp. Not too long. Yeah. Okay, take him off, drop him.
With their lungs still full of fluid, the piglets are rushed to an iodine bath to keep them free of bacteria.
We don't want them to actually take a big breath before they're in their little bubble, because again, you can suck up pathogens through their respiratory tract.
The animal science students need to get the piglets breathing immediately.
We're grabbing them and reviving them, hang them upside down, get any fluid out of their lungs, and then really just shaking them around, drying them off, trying to get them going.
Every moment counts as the students labor to bring the piglets to life.
Today, Dante's going for surgery to see where the screws migrated to and take it out.
Jennifer will assist faculty veterinarian Dr. Denelyn Parker.
We decided to remove the screw because we weren't sure if it would cause him problems long term. And he did have a little bit of an inflammatory CBC, so instead of waiting till he was actually sick and then maybe not such a good surgical candidate, we took him now.
Then you've got all of your forceps.
Under Dr. Parker's supervision, Jennifer gets to perform the delicate surgery.
I'm excited to do it, and I'm happy that she's going to be alongside me to help me out too.
So make sure that you're keeping it more towards this side. You don't get it to more even closer to your side. Is that? No, go ahead. Just keep going.
Is that bad?
I will tell you if something's bad. Okay.
I was nervous when it started, but as we went along, it worked out okay. I wasn't too sure how I was going to handle it because the emotions are a little bit different when it is your own animal, for sure.
Once the intestines are exposed, Dr. Parker takes over.
We've got the screw in here, so I'm trying to milk the screw out because it's much safer than actually having to cut into his intestinal tract. But I don't understand why, if it's so movable, it hasn't come out on its own already.
Jennifer takes over the job of milking out the screw, while Dr. Parker waits for it to emerge from the anus.
Okay, just keep pressure there for a second. I'm gonna put my finger back and see if I can. Ha-ha! Did you get it? Ta-ta!
Beautiful.
Excellent. Okay, let's close my. Let's go.
That was great.
Whole procedure went pretty good. Yep, we got the screw out and didn't have to cut into the intestines.
As Dante slowly begins to wake up, Jennifer keeps a watchful eye.
Yeah. Oh, we're still a bit shaky.
She hopes that Dante will be able to control his appetite for sharp metal objects. Staff at the large animal clinic prepare for the arrival of a potentially dangerous patient.
I don't have a lot of experience with buffalo to start with. These animals are slightly unpredictable.
Especially when they have a bad stomachache.
Right, okay, good.
Faculty veterinarian Dr. Chris Clark needs to find out why. The buffalo's owner, Keith Houston, adopted him 9 years ago, named him Pete, and trained him to appear in movies and commercials.
He's so strong. Just by turning his head to get at a fly, knock you flat. He's got a belly ache, and we just need to find that problem.
I think the owner watches this buffalo very, very carefully, so he's able to see even the slightest change in behavior. And he's noted that the feces that are being produced just look drier than he's used to seeing. And he's also worried that the buffalo looks a little bloated, even if he hasn't been eating very much. We don't see a lot of bison, so sometimes trying to work out what's normal and what's abnormal is not that easy. We're going to do a very thorough physical exam on him and just look for signs of infection.
But Pete's not going to give up his blood without a fight. Coming up.
The whole experience was really fantastic for me.
Dr. Manning and his team return to the barn with field service intern Dr. Natalie Tacatella. It's too dangerous for the mare, Banner, to bring her twin pregnancies to term. One of them must be eliminated.
Spoke to the owner last night, and she's asked us to try and do a manual twin reduction on this mare, so that's what we're going to do.
Using the ultrasound probe, Dr. Manning finds and separates the two embryos.
Boy, that one's easy to find, isn't it? It just wants to be there, up on its own, yeah.
Once the selected egg is isolated, Dr. Manning eliminates it.
So it's gone. Okay, we're done. Let's clean her up.
We've managed to destroy the one without destroying the other one at this point. Now, she's still at risk of losing that other one simply because of the manipulation we've done and the inflammation that can produce.
Banner is given anti-inflammatory drugs before the team packs up. Now, all that is left to do is hope for the best.
Usually a week goes by and things are good and the other pregnancy is maintaining itself and growing, then we're home free.
Vet student Tammy Orban is performing her first C-section on a pig, and there is a litter of healthy piglets to show for her efforts.
It was just kind of rewarding to know that, you can do it. Something that you never done, you just take the tiny bit of experience that you have and you apply it to the next case.
Safe in their pathogen-free enclosure, the piglets are soon on their way to their new home under the care of the animal science students. Their mother spends a few days recuperating from her surgery under Tammy's watchful eye.
Seeing the pig up and happy afterwards makes you feel really good. The whole experience was really fantastic for me.
Dr. Clark attempts to take blood from a 680-kilogram buffalo.
There we go, fella. I'm sorry. The reason the owner is particularly concerned is his diet now is fresh, lush, green grass, which in most animals tends to cause them to almost become slightly diarrheic, and he's still acting a little bit constipated, which is, surprising. So that again points towards something in his gastrointestinal tract, but for now I'm not sure what.
Student Marie Holowajczyk joins in on the case.
I have a much richer background in small animals, dogs and cats, and so these past week or so it's been hard enough trying to kind of master the bovine species and then, to have this bison come in, which I've never worked with ever.
Pete's blood work is back, but how can you tell what's normal for a buffalo?
You've got to kind of ballpark a little bit from what you know about cattle. If this was cow, what kind of levels would they have if that was the case?
About 5 to...
Yeah, 5 to 10 or so. So he's in that kind of area. And Keith, blood work is absolutely normal. Yes. Yeah, there's no evidence of inflammation. His kidneys seem to be functioning normal, no evidence of liver disease. Everything looks absolutely normal.
Next, the team tries to flush out the problem. Pete's bellyache continues to mystify the team.
His heart rate was normal, he wasn't running a fever. We offered him food and he ate seemingly very well. We're also wanting to just take a look at his, the contents of his rumen and just see if his rumen's functioning normally.
Taking a sample from Pete's stomach won't cause him pain, just a little discomfort.
Okay, it's the same as a little bit like doing it on a horse. So the first thing is just blow down it, see how easily you can blow down it.
Pete's really only handled by his owner, so to have strangers that he doesn't know handling him and sticking tubes up his nose and poking him with needles, it's kind of unpredictable. You don't know how he's going to react, so.
Marie prepares the samples from the buffalo's stomach and then takes them to the lab to be analyzed. Once they have the results, they'll have a better picture of what's troubling Pete. Weeks after a procedure to terminate one of Banner's potentially deadly twin pregnancies, Dr. Manning returns to check on the expectant mother.
Banner's a little bit more than 2 months into her pregnancy now. At this point, we would consider that she is beyond the danger point for loss of that pregnancy from what we've done.
There you go. See you later.
So we hope that she'll continue to develop and we'll have a normal foal sometime. And now it's really in Mother Nature's hands.
Just clean this up and then we're going to take a look at those slides and just see whether we've got normal protozoal activity there.
The results of the rumen test are back and everything looks normal. Pete seems to be a perfectly healthy buffalo.
sometimes as good as anything else.
But there is something the vet team can do to ease his constipation.
We tubed again, and we administered some mineral oil because sometimes it'll clear up like an impaction.
Okay, good. The oil may help ease something up, or it's possible that there's something in the bottom of his rumen that's just going to grumble. But if he ever gets into real trouble, then we could do something more aggressive. So we'll get him loaded up then.
The more experience you have with any of the species, the more competent you feel. I feel much more confident, with large animals, after this week than I did before, for sure.
Okay, good.
Maybe just have a belly ache and that mineral oil will flush it out of there and away you go, hopefully. About 4 years ago, he was in the film and they glued some arrows on him and poured some strawberry jam down the side of him, and then the Indians chased him around. And when they put it on film, it looked pretty real. And they computerize him and make his mouth talk like the taco dog. So far, it's good.